You're listening to the Impact Implosion on the Angry Marks Podcast Network.
It is May 29th, 2015, and it is another episode of the Impact Implosion. As always, my name is Seth Drake, and on the other end is Mike Poland.
Hello, everybody.
I guess we got to talk about the big news.
Yes, we do.
TNA.
Oh yeah, Christy Hemme quit TNA.
She is going to. Her contract's not up yet. She's just not going to re-sign.
And now to the big story.
And now the big story. Ring of Honor is on Destination America.
Yes, I love this story.
And they will be on an hour earlier and the hour after Impact.
Yep.
And the Impact replay will be at midnight.
And
so
very TNN of them, by the way.
Yeah.
Signing Ring of Honor while they still have fucking TNA on the network.
Well, in some ways this could work because you could try to bring some more wrestling fans because unfortunately
a little bit more exposure for Ring of Honor because they also keep the Sinclair spot too.
But the problem here, and this is going to hurt TNA, is that the
more fans like Ring of Honor.
ROH, the deal with ROH is a syndication deal. Is that it'll be the third running of that particular episode. Sinclair gets the first running, then I think another company gets the second running, like NESN.
Yep.
And then Destination America gets the running of the show.
Right.
And also, because Ring of Honor is done by Sinclair, it's not going to cost Destination America as much as TNA is. And the big problem with why Destination America wants to cancel TNA is because is not because of the ratings. It's because of the advertising. They cannot make up for not many people want to advertise for wrestling. And they need advertising to offset the costs for TNA. And they're not getting what they want on that.
Fortunately, they didn't realize it's not 2000 anymore and you don't have everybody that wants to advertise for wrestling.
No, it's not. It's worse that they'll advertise for almost anything, but wrestling, no.
Right.
They'll advertise for UFC, but wrestling, hell no.
Correct.
Freaking any other show like Hillbilly Blood, they'll advertise, but wrestling, no. No. Nope. So wrestling is in that position of being really bad for business. So it's about cost. It's about cost. And TNA and Destination America has to pay for some of the production of TNA, which they don't have to do with Ring of Honor. So even if TNA gets better ratings, they need the sponsors to get kept.
Yep.
So maybe this 3 hours will do that. Maybe it'll help the ratings, which will get the sponsors, but who knows? And I'm not looking forward to another 3-hour wrestling block.
No.
Which is what this is, sadly.
Yep.
So, yeah, there's that. Like you said, Christy Hemme is leaving the company. She already has a job in place after she leaves.
Yep. Good for her.
And it's not anywhere, and it's a job outside of wrestling. Complete. Also, Austin Aries' contract is said to be up soon.
Yep.
And he has not re-signed yet.
Also, Bram and Ed and the American Wolves have re-signed.
Also, Robbie E. has re-signed too.
Oh, I missed that one.
Yeah.
If I'm Aries, I'm not resigning.
Now,
you might not have a job in a few months.
The problem is all of these people have re-signed only for these deals have already been made. If they re-sign, their contracts are not actually expiring, so them giving these news about re-signing is really not that much because they only have until a couple months, which that was already on their contracts. So
right.
I don't know.
So kind of a lose-lose.
Kind of a why did you bring it up at this point?
Right.
And Dixie Carter had a meeting.
Oh no.
With talent. Basically, what this meeting was you guys got to take the bull by the horns with this thing. And when asked about past experiences, she talked about the missed pays like it was the past, and her and her lawyers could not talk about the situation with Destination America at all.
Nope.
So some people are not happy about that. That their questions were not answered.
MVP.
Yeah, MVP was pissed.
Which could play into something we saw on the show tonight. If
he wasn't there.
Yeah, he wasn't there, and he wasn't returning Kenny King's calls.
Yeah, so there is that. We also had a leaked email from Russo to Dixie Carter from 2006, where he thought there should be a hot female executive.
Tina Fey or maybe Sarah Chalk if you can find her.
Yeah, something like that. Because they might be hip or something. We can't have this. We can't have these like Samoa Joe and Kurt Angle, and then have somebody like Jim Cornette coming out with a canary yellow suit.
Stuck in the 1980s.
Yep, and he couldn't even spell Samoa Joe correctly.
Samoa Joe.
Samoa Joe.
Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe.
Yep.
You call yourself Samoan, but you're fat.
Yeah, so
there
is.
Yes. Also along the lines of released documents, this week Dave Meltzer did produce the letter which verified that Destination America was looking to cut TNA out.
Yeah, I saw that too. He did produce the letter.
So much for Dixie Carter and
Billy Corgan.
And other assholes saying that Dave Meltzer was a hack and a liar and all of this, and it was just rag sheets spreading rumors. It's factual now, and once again, Dixie has egg on her face.
Well, no, she's not saying we can't talk about that situation now. Our lawyers are telling us not to talk about that.
Well, it's too late. We done been talking about it, but you're the one who said, no, this isn't
lies.
True. It's his lies, and we'll tell the truth. Well, the truth has done been told.
Yep. Well, I knew Dixie was kayfabing people. She's been doing that a lot lately, sadly.
That's not kayfabing. That's just flat out lying.
She's been trying to work it's trying to work people and trying to work her roster, and unfortunately, it doesn't work anymore.
The only thing that she's been working is her own wrestlers, which is why MVP is pissed off.
Yeah, I understand that. He has a right to be pissed off. I would be too.
It's really interesting to kind of compare the business practices of Dixie Carter with TNA and Joe Koff, who is the COO for Sinclair Broadcasting and Ring of Honor. It is really interesting to see how they make opportunities happen, because opportunities just don't randomly appear. You got to work and you got to make them happen. And it's really interesting to see how Ring of Honor has made those opportunities happen over the last couple of years, and how TNA just doesn't.
Yeah. And by the way, I also saw the ratings for the Slammiversary 2014. 0.06.
Nobody watched it.
You might remember that number as the worst rated TNA episode ever that had Rob Van Dam as champion.
How many people would that be?
That would be like 200,000.
Well, I mean, that's still not bad. There's plenty of indie feds that would love to get 200,000.
Yeah, I know, but you're on a network. It was not good. No one's watched it. No one was going to watch it. They've seen it. Those who have watched it had seen it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, there is that. Let me look at the other news. As they're saying, oh yeah, I forgot. We do got to talk about this because Samoa Joe showed up in NXT last week.
Yep.
And Josh Matthews tried to say, we made him a star.
Nope.
The only problem with that is that,
people knew who he was before TNA.
Even WWE knew who he was. WWE tried to bid you, and they lost. You won. You beat WWE in that regard. When he was initially leaving Ring of Honor.
Yep.
So yeah, that's that. So let's get to the show.
Yep.
Which was kind of interesting. We start off with Eric Young parking his car.
And brawling with Kurt Angle.
Yep. Angle was apparently offended by apparently getting beaten up by another man's leg last week. So then we begin with our first match, which is 6 Sides of Steel between Gail Kim and Taryn Terrell with Taryn's Knockouts title on the line. And Al Snow is back on commentary. Although he wasn't as bad as he was last time. He better.
Wasn't too bad.
No, he wasn't as bad as last time. I'll admit that. Taryn will definitely be the longest reigning Knockouts champion because they did mention that Gail Kim held the belt for 210 days and Gail Kim's up to 190. Taryn's up to 190.
Yep.
And Gail Kim's at 210. So she'll beat Gail's reign looking at the spoilers.
Or at least depending on if she defended at Slammiversary or not.
Well, no, even before Slammiversary, that's 20 days and when's let me check the schedule because it's going to be more than 20 days when the Slammiversary is, I believe.
Yeah, Slammiversary is June 28th.
28th, yeah, so it'll pass. She'll pass it.
Yeah.
So apparently they're talking about what Taryn has done with Gail's husband. She hasn't done anything yet. She only wanted to show some lingerie and took a selfie with the kids. That's it so far.
We don't know that.
And
he probably
people
never will.
were interfering through the camera holes. I gotta say this. Those camera holes are the worst thing for cage matches ever.
Yep.
They have been exploited so many freaking times with this program. Just don't do them. They're absolutely. There's no point to 6 Sides of Steel if you keep doing that and exploiting that the way you do.
Yep. Taryn wins.
And Gail wears her wedding ring in the ring, which normally wouldn't be allowed, but since this is a cage match, it's okay. But she should have punched Taryn with that ring.
It plays into the psychology of the match as well. So
I know, but you use that ring. Punch her with it. It will.
The power of the ring compels you.
It will hurt. Well, not punch with it, because that might hurt your own hand, but slap somebody with it. Slap her with it. So, Gail tries to escape the cage. The stupidest moment, because Jade and Marty are outside. She knows this.
Yep.
So she tries to climb the cage, and sure enough, they climb the cage too and knock her down.
Yep.
Sure enough. Seriously, what the hell were you thinking there?
Right.
You know they're outside. Even if you escape the cage, they're going to beat you immediately. So there is no win on that. Anyway,
Taryn
wins with the cutter after that whole thing, and Gail's seriously at fault for that. Then Kong comes out as the three come in the ring, but Taryn's already locked the gate, which makes me to believe that Kong should have known she was going to do this. She kind of signaled it when she was punching Earl Hebner and already had the chain around, and I was like, why didn't she come out with bolt cutters?
She couldn't find him in the backstage area.
Knowing the dollhouse would do this. And Taryn breaks Gail's wedding finger and steals the ring.
Hurrah.
Couples do always get those damn things insured, so I know she's going to want it back, but she can't get another one.
A ring on a pole match.
But montage of James Storm, Mickie James, and Magnus with some country music song playing. And then Mickie James comes out in a dress that made me say, damn.
Yep.
So she talks about how she will have her match. It'll be great. I think James Storm comes out.
If they weren't doing this whole mess of an angle, her last match could be against Taryn.
Yeah. So
She could go out putting Taryn over.
So Mickey insists on apologizing for Magnus, and even though Storm says, I don't want to hear it, you don't have to, he should be apologizing because that guitar did cost me stuff. And she's like, he's not a bad guy.
And neither am I, Mickey.
And he's like, look, Storm, some of the thing you brought that Viking, that helmet in the ring, that wasn't cool. That was that whole joke. And he's like, yeah, come on, it was funny. It's like, it wasn't funny.
It was funny.
So James then redeems himself by saying he set up some meetings with big names like Tim and Faith, one of the members of Big Rush, whatever that group's called, and Big and Rich, and Billy Corgan. The only one I believe
Billy Corgan will get her far.
The only one I believe is he's talked to Billy Corgan. I don't believe any of the others. So, yeah, they want to meet with her to advance her career. Whatever Mickey picks, he'll have her back. Storm leaves. Mickey tells him she'll see him in Nashville. It's a trap.
It's a trap.
Next. We got to see both EY and Kurt locked up and EY breaking a window. And then we got the gauntlet match.
Promo.
Oh, yeah, the Kenny King promo where he says, this is found me. I get to be last.
And I'm going to go to Destination X and face either Kurt Angle or Eric Young.
Yeah, I must miss that part. But, yeah, first man in the gauntlet match is Manic, and then Rockstar Spud. They wrestle a little bit. DJ Z comes out. Then Mark Andrews comes out. No, I am not calling him that name.
Andrews.
I'm not calling him that. Then fifth man in is Argos, who did debut during the International Impact, but we didn't see that.
Right.
So he was pretty good here.
Yep.
Mark Andrews is the first person eliminated. And then Crazy Steve comes in.
Crazy Steve is still around.
And then during the commercial break, Tigre Uno came in, and just as we were coming back, he got eliminated.
Yep. He got bushwhacker looped.
Yep. Kenny King finally comes in. So Crazy Steve and Argos get eliminated both by Kenny King. Then DJZ does a Luthez press, which Josh wants to call the DJZ press, and I'm like, no. No, it stays Luthez press. Then DJZ gets eliminated. Then Manic tells Kenny King, look, we can beat this guy up and we'll face each other. And I'm like, betrayal will eventually come. Manic betrayed Kenny King because he thought Rockstar Spud was eliminated. But unfortunately, no, he wasn't. Magnus tried to eliminate King, but he got himself eliminated instead.
You mean Manic, not Magnus.
Manic. I said Manic.
You said Magnus.
Oh, sorry. Manic got eliminated.
I don't know if Magnus can qualify for X Division.
No, he can't. So, Josh tells and Al said there's a champion's advantage here. Get Rockstar Spud only has to pin or submit the guy, and Kenny King can lose by DQ or count. And I'm like, no. This is a gauntlet match where only pin or submission ends the match. If the final two. You guys don't know your own rules. But don't worry, I understand. It's kind of confusing.
And Spud gets the win rather quickly.
Yeah. Spud, Kenny King is arrogant, tries to go for his finisher. Spud rolls him up and wins.
And then we get the backstage promo with Kenny King trying to reach MVP.
Who's not available.
Foreshadowing.
I wonder why. So, it's Dirty Heels versus Wolves match 2. Considering the contract situation, I think the Wolves will ultimately win this belt. Belts, I mean. So, Josh wants a clean sweep. So, we don't have the same series going to 5 situation.
That's not going to happen.
No, you're not supposed to basically show your hand.
Favoritism.
I know. So, This was actually a pretty damn good match.
Yeah.
And better than their first one, I'll admit.
Got more time.
Got more time, and there were some good spots.
Yep. The Hordes of Ares into the doubles comp.
They won they won ultimately with a powerbomb backcracker dual finisher.
Yep.
So Wolves are 2-0 and one win away from the clean sweep, which will definitely not happening. And then Angelina Love appears on the screen.
Yay.
And says, I'm going to deal with Velvet Sky tonight. And then she comes out. And I keep asking Full Killer to give me some of those suicide pills because I don't need to.
This segment was awful.
Oh, dear God. Angelina Love reveals she has her own personal security. Who gave her that?
Just some guys who probably just random security from the park.
So she basically talks to Velvet, who does nothing. Then when Angelina's back is turned, Velvet jumps out of the crowd.
You were fired. You shouldn't be here.
You are fired. You stay with those fans. So,
hey, Angelina, how about next time you're talking to her, don't turn your back? That seems to be what she always attacks you.
That's a heel move, by the way.
Yeah.
So the security, after a few minutes of getting their ass kicked, Velvet gets her ass thrown out of the building, and I hope to never see her again.
But we will see her next week.
Sadly, yes. We will see her next week, unfortunately. And then we get Mr. Anderson showing the cage, and I'm trying to make this a big surprise, and I'm like, no.
Nope.
We saw this last week, you building the damn thing.
It's like Undertaker trying to build one of his coffins and trying to make it a big surprise. We saw you build it. It's not a surprise.
So EC3 comes out with Tyrus and says, despite all his rage, Tyrus will not be a rat in that cage.
That's an awful big rat.
I did like that pun. So they basically have milked the I forget to talk about the Angelina Velvet feud. They have milked. I was talking with EC3 about this. They have milked this feud for all it's worth, and they're now trying to get blood from a stone. Trying to milk blood from a stone.
They have to try to push this until they do the match at Slimversary.
And it is not the bloodstone from subspecies, sadly. So they cannot get any blood from this stone. They
have to continue milking this for at least another month.
So Mr. Anderson comes out, and Al Snow quickly points out how if this was Anderson's stipulation in the first place, maybe he wouldn't have lost.
I think he still would have lost.
I know, but seriously, he just showed Anderson was a moron.
Well, we didn't need him to show us that.
So the whole. You remember Anderson picks the stipulation, and his stipulation was that Tyrus would be in the cage. So,
he doesn't get into the cage until about halfway into the match.
Yes, so of course, he doesn't get into the cage immediately. Yep. He's supposed to be in the cage, but the match doesn't
usually when they do this gimmick, they do the whole thing before the match starts, they put the guy in the cage.
Or security forces him in the cage, yes.
They couldn't get the security away from Angelina Love, I guess.
Yes. Angelina Love's like, my security, mine.
But we have this thing that we have to do with them.
I know. No, mine.
But Velvet's gone now.
No, my security.
Now you sound like Dixie Carter.
No, my Dixie Carter voice is like this. Not my freaking.
No, it sounds like a female Eric Cartman.
So, anyways, Tyrus gets put into the cage.
And it doesn't matter.
And hits the mic check on EC3, but only gets a 2 count. EC3 ultimately wins fair and square. No more rematches. Anderson has no more excuse. He tries to shake his hand, but EC3 says nope.
And EC3 leaves without letting Tyrus have the cage.
I know.
That was funny.
So then we have a segment with Rockstar Spud in the back talking about how it feels great once again to be X Division champion 2 times. It's just as better the first. I get to be like all those other people. And someone basically said, only one of those people is still in the company. He's like, hey, there's still great people who held the company, which was good. He basically said it on Twitter, which was good. I actually like that.
Which one is still in the company?
I think Aries.
Yeah.
The group of men who are part of our company history and legacy. Hope you're enjoying the show. So
I
anyway,
doubt any of them are watching.
I know, but yeah, he basically replied to a guy who's called TNA Creative, and he's like, Rockstar Spud references a group that only one is still here. He's like, yeah, they're a great group of men in our history, but hope you're enjoying the show. So anyway, back to the segment. Rockstar Spud is told by the cameraman that Destination America is around the corner. He's like, what? I didn't know that. I guess I'm kind of like full speed ahead. I didn't even know that. So
I think the cameraman botched.
No, he told him this. No, I don't think the cameraman botched. He knows that Destination America is ahead, and he's like, I'll have to consider that. Maybe this isn't my limit. So he leaves with that. It was a great segment.
You mean Destination X is ahead?
Yeah, Destination X is ahead. That's what I meant. My God. I say
Destination America. I was going to let you go ahead with that.
Okay, my bad. He said Destination X. It wasn't a botch. It was my botch. I get the two damn things confused.
Wah, wah.
Yeah, I wonder why. So now we have the Kurt Angle, Eric Young match, which needed more time.
Yes.
Needed way more time, and considering that it got 13 minutes, oh boy, did it need more time. They were just trying to go too fast for this damn show.
What could they have chopped off here? Maybe EC3 and Anderson?
They could have chopped that off, because really that whole point where Tyrus was outside the ring was pointless.
Yep.
They should have just dumped the whole Angelina Love Velvet Sky segment.
No, they're going to continue that until Slammiversary, I have a feeling. That'll be a contender for a turducken later in the year.
Yeah, it'll be. It'll be a turducken contender. I don't really know if they really needed to put that Gail Kim match in there, but which was okay.
Oh, I think that's a storyline advancer, so that's fine.
I know, and I think, by the way, they did that because of I don't know if you needed the EC3 Mr. Anderson one in this show, but okay. I think they crammed too much into this show. Really do. But a 13-minute match, this should have been longer. It's really.
Yep.
So.
And Angle wins.
By the way, dumbest moment of the night. Kurt Angle has EY in the ankle lock. EY taps out, but never said I quit. So Kurt, thinking the match is over, he lets go. And Josh was like, that was smart by EY. And I'm like, no, it wasn't. It only works if Kurt's a moron, which he was.
Which, guess what?
There is a point where then EY hits him with the pile driver, tells Kurt, I'm going to break your neck if you don't quit. And Kurt tells him to kiss his ass. It's not that type of match.
Kiss me arse.
So EY goes for the pile driver, delays it. Some gosh darn reach. So Kurt, get back up.
It's not a vertical suplex, EY. Sorry. Can't delay it. No one's going to count.
No, he basically is he delays it by trying to, go between the legs and do a package pile driver.
Oh yes, Kevin Steen.
Well, not that kind of package pile driver, but
the cradle pile driver.
That's the cradle pile driver. There's like a different kind of pile driver where he just locks one leg and stuff. I forget what it's called. But he's trying to spike it or something, and maybe it really took a long time. So anyway, Angle reverses, gets him into the ankle lock. EY quits. Angle retains. that's the end of the show.
Yep.
This episode was, I'll give it a C. I'll give it actually a B minus.
This was fine. It's probably a C.
No, I'll give it a C plus. I really should have stayed with C plus. I'll give it that. The Wolves match was great. The Rockstar Spuds moment was great, but we don't need Angelina Love and Velvet Sky. Gail was made to look like a moron.
They'll bring her back on the Live Impact, I have a feeling, to a 6 knockout tag at the pay-per-view.
Gail was I think they might be doing his Brooke versus Taryn at the pay-per-view, but have they already booked that match, the 6 knockout?
I'm thinking that's what they're going to go with, because you've got to deal with the other two as well.
Yeah.
You still got Taryn and Conley on their issue.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. They'll probably go with that. But, Kurt Angle and AY needed more time. It wasn't their best match.
Nope.
What else? They really kind of screwed Tigre Uno over in that gauntlet. Talk about a jobber.
That's kind of what he is.
Yeah, he comes in during the commercial, and then when we come back, he gets eliminated, just as we come back.
Yep.
But yeah, Rockstar Spud really shined, which is, I'm going to say this now, I will not be watching Destination X.
Okay.
I refuse to watch that show. I've read the spoilers. I've read that whole show. I will not watch that. I will not see.
I might have to find a co-host in 2 weeks then.
Yeah. I refuse to watch that show.
All right.
But I think Anderson and EC3 was fine, except for the part where Tyrus was out of the cage, even though he should have been in there.
Yep, that makes sense.
Yeah, it doesn't really. So it's a mixed show bag.
Mm-hmm.
But, I did say the tag match was awesome.
Yep. What
did we also have? No, that was it. The parking lot thing was kind of funny.
Yep.
Kurt's waiting for him we're watching Eric Young park the car, and Kurt's out there like, come on, man.
Come on, man.
Come on, man. We gotta fight, man. Dixie, I couldn't really focus much on what the James Storm Mickey segment because of that damn dress, honestly. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it's mixed bag. So what do you have to sell?
No, nothing this week.
I have to sell tomorrow, or it's probably already up there if you're listening to the show online. But tomorrow will be the or today, depending on when you're listening. But
May 30th.
May 30th. So it'll be May 30th is when I post the induction of Rocky and Bullwinkle movie. And unfortunately, it will not be as funny as the Batman and Robin because I didn't find as much jokes to basic. It is still not a good movie. It basically tells you its plot holes, admits there's plot holes, tries to be meta about it, and then doesn't really clean them up. So yeah, it's one of those movies. And I do think it would have made more money if it was released like in the 2010s or something. Yep. Probably would have done better because of stuff like the Smurfs and Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's all. And Miley, we're heading to bed.
Yep. Good night, everybody.